You know, the EU never fails to disappoint, does it? It never fails to disappoint. You know, I have given these bastards a try. I have given them the benefit of the doubt. I've given them the opportunity to impress, but it just never happens, does it? It just never happens. I mean, it's just such a disappointment, and you have to wonder why it's such a disappointment, and it's just clearly such incredible letdown all the time. You think these people might be able to do something. I mean, you think about, you think about European cooperation, some kind of European unity, some kind of cooperation. It's already good, it's already necessary, and then you see the EU, and it's all just such a disappointment all the time. You know, this is crazy. I mean, think for this whole shit with Israel, for instance. You know, Israel, we all know what these people are doing in Israel, bombing those poor people in Gaza, bombing the Palestinians, keeping them locked up in their own little houses, little towns, little neighborhoods. Because let's be honest, Israel is a apartheid state. It is a Heron Volk republic. I mean, these people believe that Israelis are the chosen people and that the Palestinians are subhuman. I mean, they literally said, the ambassador of Israel to the EU literally said, while he was standing there next to all those EU bigwigs like Metzola and stuff like that, and Michel, literally said that these people are subhuman. They are human animals. They are subhuman. He literally called these people Untermenschen. I mean, think about this. The ambassador of Israel literally called Palestinian people subhuman, Untermenschen, human animals. This is absurd. This is crazy. And you know what's even more crazy is that, God damn it, these stupid European idiots, these EU bastards, they see this happening, and the first thing they do is they feel the need to go virtue signal and say, yeah, we stand with Israel, naturally. They just have natural instinct. They don't think about what the hell has been going on for the past 50 years between these people. They don't think about, let's just stay neutral in this shit. No, instead they just need to go virtue signal. They just need to go say, yes, of course we're going to support Israel because, I don't know, authority has to support authority or something. I don't know what the problem is here. I mean, I honestly don't know why the hell these people are so stupid that they cannot even just stay out of a conflict that isn't our own to begin with. I mean, they could have said, we're going to look at this and we're going to stay neutral in this. This is something they could have said. Like, they could have said this. They could have said, this is not our war. We're not going to get involved. It's up to every country for itself to decide on this. The EU is supposed to be an international organization, right? An international organization which is there to help and foster international cooperation between European states, right? That's the point of the EU. But instead, they just go out and just say, no, we're just going to stand with Israel just like that. And that is stupid on so many levels. Not only is it inhuman, not only is it inhumane, not only is it illogical, not only is it completely glossing over everything that's been going on for the past 50 years in that stupid country over there. More importantly, they actually broke the law, European law, by doing so, because the European Commission and also the European Parliament, they decided to pick sides in this. They said, we stand with Israel, we support Israel in bombing Palestinians, we are fine with this, we are cool with this, we're actually going to help them, we're going to stand with them, we're going to support them, we're going to show solidarity with Israel and shit like that. We're just going to look the other way, basically, when the Israelis bomb everything, bomb the Palestinians into a pulp and treat them like human animals and call them human animals, and that's all fine. That's what the EU said, and that is a problem. And you know why there's a problem? Because the founding treaty of the European Union, which is the Maastricht Treaty, it actually says, it specifies that there are certain things that the European Commission and the European Union can legislate upon. And there are certain things which only the member state can legislate upon and decide upon. And you know what? foreign policy and defense policy are 100% the prerogative of the member states. The European Commission has no right whatsoever to decide on that. Nothing. Nada, zip, nothing. It has no right to decide on public policy, foreign policy, and defense policy. It just does not. It clearly states that this is something that has to be sorted out between the states themselves. Every state decides for themselves, and they have to coordinate amongst themselves and inform each other and basically talk to each other. Fine, but it's every state for himself when it comes to foreign policy and when it comes to defense policy. The EU has nothing to do with that. And that is why the moment that the European Commission and that stupid Bint von der Leyen decided to just stand with Israel like that, they actually violated the founding treaty of the European Union. They violated the law. Not only were they completely inhumane when it comes to this, they actually just said we're gonna show solidarity with an apartheid state. That's what we're going to do. That's what the EU said. We're going to show solidarity and approval for an apartheid state. But they didn't just do that then. On top of that, they also violated their own basic law. It's like, if an American president would violate the American Constitution, that's pretty much the same, That is what we're talking about here. And the problem is that this seems to have no consequences whatsoever. I mean, I complained about this. I even complained about this. I even made a formal complaint about this to the European Commission itself, that they violated the law, EU law. I don't think it's going to happen because, we know that the European Commission, the EU, doesn't really like listening to citizens and civilians, and it doesn't really believe in direct democracy or any kind of democracy to begin with, because let's be honest, this is the problem. The EU is not a democracy. The EU is not a democracy. The EU is ruled by a junta, by the European Commission, which is not elected by anyone, and which is actually not really bound by anything. There are no real checks and balances in Europe. Not really. The European Commission can make European laws. It can propose European laws. It can then also enact European laws, and it can maneuver those European laws past the European Parliament if it really wants to, because the European Parliament, in some things, they have to say yes or no, but in many cases they can basically, just be ignored. We've seen this so many times. We've seen this during the Pfizer text scandal, basically, where that dictator von der Leyen, she actually just completely bypassed the European Parliament, completely ignored, just completely said, I don't care. That is what she did. And now again, and this is what they keep doing, because the EU is not a democracy. The EU is not a democracy. The EU is the disappointment. So you know what? I am officially losing faith in the EU here. I am officially rescinding my trust in the EU here. Didn't have a lot of it to begin with, to be honest. Not really. Didn't have a lot of it to begin with. Not really. But now I have lost my last bit of hope and respect, or whatever you want to call it. A last bit of hope for the EU. I don't believe in this anymore. I think we need to fix the EU. We need to fix the EU in the international organization that it really is supposed to be. International organization. International organization, officially speaking, on the books, it's still an international organization that exists to foster cooperation between European states. Well, let's make it that again. A real organization, international organization, to help European states cooperate. Independent, sovereign, independent European states cooperate with one another, trade with one another, all that good stuff, Cooperation. Not a union which is autocratic and undemocratic and ruled by a junta, by a regime that's been elected by no one. No, let's just ditch that. Ditch the union. Let's go to a community, a European community. European community, a European community of independent, sovereign European states, cooperative, free, voluntary, not mandatory, voluntary, cooperative and communal, a community, a European community. Let's do that. And you know what? I am so incredibly fed up with the EU right now. I'm so incredibly fed up with this hypocrisy, where they keep on saying, "Oh, we're so very democratic. We always fight for democracy." You know, I mean, they keep on giving Sakharov prizes to human rights defenders and human rights activists from China and Saudi Arabia and whatnot. But in the meantime, you know, there is no democracy in the EU whatsoever. It just isn't. It's not democratic. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? So this is why I have decided, you know, I refuse to go on with this. This is stupid. This is stupid. So I've decided to take this European flag, and I know that I have got it on the wall because it is a European flag. It's supposed to be a symbol for all Europeans, not the EU. The EU hijacked it. It's a symbol for all Europeans. That's what this flag is supposed to be. Symbol for all Europeans. That also includes Norwegian people, Swiss people, Belarus people, even Russians. You know, all Europeans. That's what the flag is supposed to represent, not the EU. But it has been tainted. It has been tainted by the EU. It has been tainted by the EU, this undemocratic, autocratic, hypocritical union. It has been tainted. So this is why I am going to take it down. I'm going to take down the flag off my wall. It's not gonna be on my wall anymore. I just can't. I'm gonna take it off. And I'm not going to burn it or anything, because it's still supposed to be a symbol for all of Europe. I'm not going to burn it. I'm just going to fold it, put it in my cupboard, and maybe I'll put it up someday, but only if this commission goes down, if there's no more autocratic commission, if there's actually democracy, if there's actually a choice, if there is a community of Europeans, if we get to that point where we actually have something to be proud of, then I'll put it up again, but not one moment before. So that is why I'm going to take this thing down right now. Well, there you have it, and it's gone. And that, if you are watching and you have a job in the EU, that is how you lose support from people. This is how you lose support from people, by always saying something different from what you really are and what you really mean, by always being hypocritical, by always being corrupt, by always doing the wrong thing and just not using your brain and not knowing the history and not taking a side on any moral question, basically, where people are actually suffering and you just don't give a shit because, I don't know, because you just need to virtue signal or whatever. Virtue signal by supporting evil. Again. How many times must we see this happen? So, you know, I'm not going to have that flag anymore. I mean, I think it's sad. I think it's really sad that I cannot do this, have this flag on, which is supposed to be a symbol for the whole of Europe, for every European, regardless of politics, regardless of anything, basically. It's just supposed to be, if you're from this continent, part of the world, then that's the flag, that's the symbol that's supposed to represent you, but it doesn't anymore. Let's be honest, because it's been tainted by the EU. It's been tainted by the EU, and until we get a truly honest, democratic, functional, and moral community, I will not be raising this flag again. I won't do it. So, you know, there you have it. There you have it. And if you are a part of the EU in any way, and you're watching this, then know that this is your fault, because this is how you lose people. This is how you lose support. Right here. Right here. Alright, short outro, if you want to call it. Thank you for watching this. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and all that kind of stuff. Don't forget to subscribe. Helps every time. It helps me, helps whatever. The point being though is that I want to actually change this shit. I want to change this shit because I am sick of it. I'm sick of the EU. I'm sick of the corruption. I'm sick of the hypocrisy. I am sick of it. So I want to change this shit. And you know what? Next year, 2024, there's going to be elections again for the European Parliament, and I want to get in there because I don't see any European parliamentarian, any MEP basically, who actually seems to be doing their job. Well, I mean, let's be honest. There are a few. There are about seven. About out of 170. There are about 7, yes. Well, there are the Freedom MEPs of back then, which is Teresh, Anderson, then the German one as well. Then there's Claire Daly, the other Irish guy. Hey, that's about it, eh? That's about it. Those are 5 actually. There's 5 out of 170. I mean, this is shitty. I mean, this is really bad. I mean, those are the only MEPs who really seem to care about freedom and human rights and stuff like that. I mean, you don't hear anything about any of this stuff from any of them. I mean, yeah, you hear lots of bluster and complaints that sovereign states aren't giving over their sovereignty to the EU because we could solve all our problems if we just dissolve all European nations into one big European federation, which is something you hear that gas bag Verhofstadt talk about all the time, complain about all the time, without, of course, him ever mentioning that, maybe this is actually a really bad idea because the EU has a gigantic democratic deficit. So I want to do something about this because I am tired of this shit. So next year I want to try and get into the European Parliament, and I need your help for this. I need your help for this because I don't see anybody else trying to do this. So this is why I need you to basically follow this. I need you to subscribe. I need you to give a big thumbs up. I need you to share. I need you to do this for Europe so we can go back to a European cooperative community, a European community where we basically help ourselves and where Europeans cooperate rather than are forced to obey a non-elected hunter of a European Commission that has been elected by no one and that thinks they can decide for 450 million Europeans. Blah.